And here we go. We're going to really be talking about Breton Woods of Holland Homes specifically. Of course, the continuum of care being available both at our Breton Woods campus and our campus at Raybrook. And as we talked about, we're really happy to have Adam Kinder join us on this webinar today, our Chief Financial Officer. So when we're talking about Breton Woods, it's all about location, because sometimes people think, oh, where is it? People are familiar with our Raybrook campus, which is, kind of an institutional, and it's been around a longer time than Breton Woods. And so our Breton Woods campus is located at 44th and Breton in Kentwood. So as you see down here at the bottom of your screen, it's close to Horrocks, which I know a lot of you love. I know I love it. Walgreens, not far from the Gerald R. Ford Airport, about 3 miles away. And actually, some of the buildings, like the Breton Ridge, you can see the the tower, the airport tower from that building. So really close. Up on 28th Street, close to things like Meyer, Schuler Books, less than a couple miles away. Centerpoint Mall, Woodland Mall, Breton Village. And of course, we can't forget, we are Holland Homes, so we can't forget about Russ's on 28th Street. And it's not a far drive to downtown. So depending on traffic, of course, you're about 20 minutes from downtown. So an easy drive down there if you choose to go down there, or it's an easy ride on our bus if you're going down for some events that Breton Woods and Holland Home have organized. Our Breton campus is about 170 acres, and this map kind of shows you both the north side of the campus and the south side of the campus. The north side has our Breton Homes North, which are our newest homes, which I'll talk a little bit about as we continue today. Breton Ridge, which is a congregate building. And then we have, of course, the new pickleball courts, our Breton Park that's only for residents, walking trails, butterfly preserve, putting, golf, and shuffleboard. And then some homes, some condo style homes here. We have 82 of them total. And then on the southern part of the campus, we've got Breton Terrace. That's the building you may be familiar with coming down Breton Road. It's the large building you see. And then closer to 44th Street, we have the full continuum of care with having assisted living, skilled nursing, and rehab all right on the campus. So even if couples, as an example, get separated temporarily because of care needs, residents are still on the same campus and close by. These are some pictures of the really part of the community I was talking about. Up in the upper left-hand corner here, that's our Breton Terrace building that you see from Breton Road. Breton Ridge is back in the woods off of Pfeiffer Woods Drive. Our newer development, Breton Homes North, which started in 2016, and then our existing homes here, Breton Homes. Kind of give you a visual of what they look like as you drive through the campus. In our Breton Terrace and Breton Ridge buildings, we have 1, 2, and 3 bedroom apartments. So we start out at about 800 square feet in a 1 bedroom and go up to a 3 bedroom and over 1,600 square feet. We have some floor plans that are even larger, as large as 3,100 square feet. So really kind of any size you're really looking for, we can really accommodate you in Breton Terrace or Breton Ridge. Breton Homes North, this is what I mentioned earlier that we started in 2016. We only have, at the time of this recording, about 3 homes available that are left. So construction is starting to wrap up on that. Um, they are single homes, single standalone, duplex and triplex, and 2 and 3 bedrooms, depending on if it has a lower level or not. As you can see from some of the pictures here below, really custom style kitchens with upgraded appliances, solid surfaces, smart home technology, really just kind of a state-of-the-art way to age in place. And then our existing homes, which are duplex, triplex, and quads, are Breton homes. These are 2 bedroom, 2 bath. Sometimes the lower levels are finished off, which you would add to the square footage that's posted there. When you come to Holland Home, you're really looking at not just a place to live, but a place to kind of foster interest that you may have. We have a lot of residents that say, once we moved in, we could do the things we wanted to do instead of doing the things we have to do, like home maintenance and those kind of things that they don't have to worry about anymore. So maybe it's taking a class in the pool or just swimming on a regular basis. Our state-of-the-art fitness centers at both Breton Ridge and Breton Terrace with our trainers, having classes. You can spend some time in the workshop at Breton Terrace. You can do maybe some billiards at one of the buildings, or really take advantage of all the walking trails that kind of connect you through the rest of the bike trails and walking trails throughout Kentwood and onward. You can connect through and do walking and biking, etc. So lots of options. It's not just about having a beautiful place to live. And we've added to our offerings as we have really looking at the needs and really what aging adults are looking for. So that's why, pickleball has become extremely popular in the last several years. So we're really happy to have added a pickleball court, shuffleboard there, adding things like the putting green, expanding our restaurant offerings and restaurant hours to better serve residents, and having things like our stores that will help people pick up some groceries, things right in the building. So always trying to look at what's next and what we can offer. I'd say at the core of living at Holland Home is our Vibrant Living Wellness Initiative. Vibrant Living is really our approach to successful aging. Successful aging isn't just about exercising more. There's a function of that, of course, but it's so much more than that. So Vibrant Living was something that we developed here in the last 5 or 6 years. It was a North American winner of one of the top aging programs in the North America. So when we say it's an award-winning program, we can really say that with authority. It really looks at the 5 key areas of aging: that physical wellness that I talked about, emotional well-being, spiritual fulfillment, intellectual discovery, and social engagement. So every 2 weeks, we publish a calendar, shows what's going on, and you'll notice the calendar is color-coded. So as an example, a green item will be social engagement, like you see here on the screen. Purple would be some spiritual fulfillment. So whether it's doing some pickleball or taking a class or Bible study or exercise, there's all kinds of options. You can be as busy or not as you want. But that's really, it's hard to describe culture, but I think Vibrant Living really paints a picture of how we approach aging. And maybe you don't want to be busy. Some days you want to, maybe, and other days you don't. And so you can relax in your home, relax with friends, enjoy your porch or the balcony, enjoy some of the outdoor spaces that are on the beautiful Breton Woods campus, and just really take time for you, knowing that you don't have to worry about things like home maintenance and the like. But at our core, while we have a beautiful place to live, at our core, we're a life care community. Well, what does that mean for you? Well, it means that you have the assurance of care for life. So when you come in, you purchase a continuing care agreement, and it promises that as you age, you have guaranteed access to the continuum of care should you need it. So maybe you come into independent living, some of the buildings and things we've talked about, but maybe you need a little bit of help in your home at some point, maybe permanently or temporarily. You can have home care, assisted living, maybe when home care is not enough, memory care, rehab, and then skilled nursing. So you have the assurance that if there is a need, you know what the plan is and you know where you will be. And when we say award-winning care, that's not just us saying it. We've been recognized both by our peers and outside organizations as really recognized among the best communities in the country. If you think about, I talked about a little bit the Beacon Wellness Award was in the top 25 senior communities in North America in 2020. That's what Vibrant Living did. We are on the U.S. News and World Report's long-term care, best nursing homes, and short-term rehab. We were the first community in Michigan to be designated as a PAC-aware community, that positive approach to care, to way Teepa Snow, who was a thought leader in dementia care. We were the first organization in Michigan, first 5 in the country to get this designation. Maybe you saw in your Grand Rapids magazine this month that we were voted best senior living. Our doctors are on the top doctors list for gerontologists, and really profile of our leadership like Troy Vuctavine, our president CEO, just really servant leadership based right here in Kent County. You're not dealing with an outside organization or out of town or out of state management. We're right here in your neighborhood. And so it's not just about Holland Home. And maybe Adam, would you like to, because I've been doing a lot of talking here. I can do that. But maybe you want to talk a little bit, Adam, about the depth and breadth of our services.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that. Yeah, so it really starts with Holland Home. So Holland Home in 2022 celebrated its 130th year of existence, and over the years we've gotten into a slew of different things, but it's all been birthed out of a desire to try and meet the needs both of our residents and of our community at large. And that's what you really see in front of you here. So, I mean, you have Holland Home really as the primary driver of this, but we operate 2 life plan communities, Breton Woods, which is what we're spending most of our time talking about here, and then Raybrook, which is located near Calvin University. And then within each of those life plan communities, as Michael's already kind of talked about, we have different care services, and all of these care services can be found on each of those campuses: independent living, rehab services, assisted living, skilled nursing, memory care, and of course Vibrant Living kind of overlays all of that, frankly. And then beyond that, you have Atrio Home Care, which we've been a part of doing home care for well over 25, maybe 30 years or more now. And Atrio came about 5 or 6 years ago, and that's a partnership with a couple other senior living providers where we really try and drive as much quality care towards our residents. And so as as residents on our campuses, certainly Atrio Home Care is right there at your fingertips to help, again, keep you where you want to be for as long as possible. And Faith Hospice. So Faith Hospice came about 25, 30 years ago, as we watched other hospice agencies kind of serve our residents as they move through our continuum of care, and we determined that, hey, we think we can do hospice, and we can perhaps do it better. And so over the last 2 decades plus, Faith Hospice has really blossomed to be one of the leaders, if not the leader, as far as size wise of hospice care, particularly in Kent County, but also throughout West Michigan. And we're really humbled at the opportunity to serve as many people as we do through Faith Hospice. So certainly as residents of Holland Home, should you need Faith Hospice, should you need hospice services, Faith Hospice is right there, a 4+ star rated hospice agency. I should have mentioned that Atrio also is a 4 or 5 star rated home care agency, which is fantastic. So we try and drive quality wherever we can. And then beyond that, some other affiliate partners that we've been a part of since their initiation, with the exception of Reliance. But Reliance provides a lot of care throughout the community. Likely most of you as residents of Holland Home or prospective residents of Holland Home wouldn't necessarily experience Reliance, but they care for close to 1,000 people a day out in our community care resources. It's a PACE program. We're in a partnership with 3 other organizations in that, and we serve well over or close to 300 people a day in care resources out in the community. Again, those are people who maybe wouldn't find their way to Holland Home, but were able to serve in other ways. TANF 365, that's population health management. That's a 5-way partnership. And then Trillium Institute, which is really geared towards training physicians in our community in palliative care and end-of-life care. And so really, we talk about all of those logos at the bottom of the screen just to mention the fact that we are more than Holland Home, and we recognize some folks will never move into our communities, and so we thought long and hard about ways we can serve them, and we try and serve as many people as possible in as many settings as possible, and that's really what this slide is attempting to demonstrate. So the breadth, not just of our facility based, but also the fact that we're constantly thinking about new ways to serve both our residents, but our community at large at the same time.
Great. Thanks. I appreciate that. And yet, I think what makes us so strong, not just what Adam showed on that last slide with that depth and breadth and serving people in so many ways, but here at the communities, both at Breton Woods and Raybrook, that you have staff that is right there outside your door to help with any kind of needs you have, even in independent living, with our teams of fitness people and our vibrant living teams and nurses and our chefs and staff. You really have a real support right outside your door that will help you live life to the fullest and live life vibrantly. Adam mentioned we've been in service to West Michigan older adults for 130 years. And as you might imagine, a lot of things have changed. One of the things that really hasn't changed is our mission. This is a mission-driven organization. I've never worked at a place that really talked about the mission so much. And I will assure you that the mission is not something we just hang on the wall in a boardroom or have printed on the back of our cards, but it is what we try to do and live every day. Hardly a day goes by here where we don't think about the mission, and where when there is a doubt about how to handle a situation or what to do, we always look to the mission to kind of guide that. And regardless of your faith tradition, I think we all could agree that things like serving with love and compassion, committing to excellence, and following Christ's teachings and example in all we do, very few people would have any problem with any of that. Sadly, mission-driven organizations really don't you don't see organizations talking about their mission or talking about service and commitment to excellence and doing things like Christ would. We don't fulfill this perfectly, but we do try our best, and it's really our guiding star here. Whenever we're serving residents or the community at large, the mission is at the fore. It's really mission over margin here. This next two slides really deal with our value. So we talked a lot about all the great things you get by living here, but I'm going to let our CFO, Adam, talk a little bit about the value, and then on the next slide about pricing.
Yeah, I'll say one little thing about the mission too. I could talk about the mission all day long, but the mission is the reason why I work at Holland Homes. The reason why I came to Holland Home a few years ago, and it's the thing that yeah, Michael said it. I mean, it really does drive not virtually every single decision we make. We hold it up to the mission, and if it doesn't pass the mission test, it doesn't happen. It's a pretty simplistic window through which we look, and really the mission drives just about everything that we do. So value wise, so a couple different things. I'm sure you'll have more detailed questions you can perhaps ask the sales team, but ultimately we tend to have three different entrance fee pricing models. One is so each of these that I walk through, this is going to indicate a refundable versus a non-refundable, and really what that means is what percent would you get back at the time you vacate the unit versus what percent would you kind of give up. So to speak, kind of view it through the lens of that's really your raw cost. So in this case, at 35/65 is 35% is really your net cost. 65% is what comes back to you based on what you pay. 50/50 is 50% is essentially your cost versus 50% coming back to you. And 75/25 is 75% really is your cost, and 25% is what comes back to you at the time you vacate your independent living unit. And so each of those three pricing plans have different gross entrance fees as you're looking to move in. Again, I'm not going to get into the very minute details here, as the sales team can certainly walk through each of these different scenarios with you and kind of talk through some things. But ultimately, the takeaway here is most people choose that 50/50 or the 75/25 plan, but we did a deep dive or analysis a little over a year ago, looking at some of our pricing compared with a number of our peer communities in the area. And really the initial birth of that analysis is really just to kind of figure out, okay, where we price compared to everybody else in the market, where we find ourselves, or there's some things we need to pay attention to. And really it was kind of approaching this analysis with a relatively open mind to say, okay, let's just figure out where we land and everything. We kind of know how we've gotten to where we are, but how do we stack up against where everybody else is? This is both for our benefit, but also so we can share some of these little nuggets with y'all, but also with some of our existing residents, just to kind of demonstrate where we are in the market. So when we looked out over all of our peer communities, and we kind of looked at what the kind of net cost would be to a prospective resident. Again, thinking about entrance fee plans, what's really that net cost to you? Again, you pick the 75/25 plan, 75% of the entrance fee is really your net cost. So kind of we looked at that as a function of entry, and then the monthly fees that you may pay kind of over the course of a 10-year period of time. And then any other ancillary charges you may pay, whether that's kind of food program charges, that kind of stuff. But really, when we tried to stack up all these communities and kind of create some apples to apples comparisons, what we found was that when we looked at one bedroom units, ours were typically about 18% less on an annual cost compared to our peers. We're about 39% less per square foot. So you get a little bit more bang for your buck when it comes to square footage that you're able to reside in independent living. 2-bedroom units, we found we were about 3.5% less annually than our peers as far as raw cost goes, and then 35% less per square foot. Again, you're getting a little bit more bang for your buck compared to some of our peer communities. And then overall, you combine 1, 2 bedroom. I think there might have even been some 3 bedrooms in the mix, but we're about 17.5% less annually raw cost compared to our peers, about 45% or so less on a per square foot basis. And so really what that told us was that we offer a really good value to the market right now. So as prospective residents contemplating, where to go, where to land, certainly we're trying to demonstrate through this kind of where we think we land in the mix. The nice thing too is we looked at our average entrance fee. So this is based on the 50/50 entrance fee modeling here, but our overall entrance fees approximated right around 81% of the average home sale value in Kent County, and actually it might be a little lower than that. Earlier this year, it was closer to maybe the upper 60% or 70%. It might be more 75, 80% now, given some decline in home sale values, but certainly we offer considerable value. So there's a great time to sell your home, perhaps put a little of that equity back in your pocket, and be able to easily cover an entrance fee into Holland Homes. So we can go on to the next one, Michael. So kind of as I was talking about, so our entrance fee plans for the Breton Woods campus started right around 125,000 and kind of go up from there. Again, I kind of talked about the refundable versus non-refundable considerations there. This slide references a fourth price plan, which is true for Breton Homes North only. There's a 1585, so 15% is your cost versus 85% is what you get back, and that only applies to Breton Homes North right now. It's the only one we could get the math to work on it. And then looking at monthly fees, we're at $899 a month. With that, that includes internet and cable at this point. And so we found, based on our monthly fees and our entrance fees, again, we are incredibly competitive and offer an incredible value for what you're able to get. One of the things that we have looked at is, or we always attempt to do, is maintain affordability to as many people as possible. So to speak more broadly here at a more macro level, right? We kind of feel like if as many people as possible can afford to move in and live in our communities, that's a great thing. So we want to maintain as affordable as possible kind of an entrance fee plan and a monthly fee modeling. And so that's one of the reasons why we don't have kind of a forced meal plan, is to say, at $899 a month and entrance fees in the 125 range, if you own your own home and kind of have even a modest retirement savings, or maybe even limited savings, and you're living off of Social Security, we can likely find a place for you at Holland Home, whether it's the Breton Woods campus or the Raybrook campus. And so what you'll find is, as part of the admissions process, we often, or every time, we request financial disclosures. And really the objective in requesting those isn't so much for us to say no to somebody that you can't move into Holland Home, but it's to get to a yes, to make sure that you're moving into or pursuing kind of an independent living unit that ensures that you're not bleeding down your assets too much, and that it really helps you try and preserve as best you can your current financial resources for as long as possible. And it's kind of a mutually motivated direction in that regard. And so we like being as affordable as possible for the exact reason that we don't have to say no to very many people. We can tend to say yes to most people who come our way. And if we can't figure out a way to say yes to somebody, maybe they don't own their own home, they don't have much in assets, all of our other community-based services can certainly wrap around them to help provide a care environment for them that helps to keep them in their own home or wherever they're residing for as long as possible. So yeah, a couple other things I would say is as you're looking at communities and exploring communities, pay attention to what is or is not included in the continuing care agreements, what is or is not covered by those monthly fees. Think about property taxes, things like that. How are all those things considered, whether in the monthly fees or outside of the monthly fees? and understanding how all those costs ladder together. So certainly we're interested in having to be a resource for people. We want everyone to move in to Holland Home, but certainly we want you to be as well informed as possible, so that when you're out looking at communities, you can be sure to ask really good pointed questions. So back to you, Michael.
Great. Thank you, Adam. That's really insightful. I appreciate that. You know, we have had a lot of residents when they move in. Most of them tell us that their monthly expenses really go down, and they know what they're going to be every month. They're not having to worry about maintenance, not worrying about the refrigerator going out, and they can kind of bank on that every month. And then when people really look at what it costs to live in their home, it's not just about utilities, but maintenance and you know, things that happen maybe a few times a year, like sprinkling or snow plowing or what have you. When they add all that up, generally most people are saving money. Their monthly expenses do go down here. So when we all is said and done, you know, when we think about Breton Woods, we do have a heartfelt mission to serve. All of us do. A promise of care, as Adam talked about, competitive pricing, the depth and breadth of services, the heritage of our leadership being right here in West Michigan and Kent County, and at the bottom line, a dynamic community that has fun people with a lot of fun things going on, that's with friendship and with love. Really, when you stack it all up, it really makes Breton Woods come right to the surface as really one of the top communities. And I love this quote from one of our residents. Lois thought when she moved to a community, she thought that she would make her age more quickly. At the time, her mother lived at Breton Woods when she moved in. And here she says, to my delight and surprise, there are many people my age who live here that I could connect with. I've enjoyed happy hours and dinners with many different people and absolutely love it. It's really reassuring and nice to find people like me that like to do things that I like to do. I was afraid I would grow older faster by living here, and that just isn't happening. So I couldn't say it better than Lois, one of our residents that's here, which I really appreciate her beautiful comments. So when it comes to Breton Woods, there is more to life. And now we can entertain your questions. Well, again, thank you for tuning in. I know we covered a lot of material there. And once you get Adam and I talking about Holland Home, we could go a long time. So, but let's just see what questions that may have come up during the webinar. And let's see, do any of you have questions? While we're waiting for questions, I am going to mention we do have availability, especially at Breton Woods, with large one-bedroom apartments. So if you're looking or thinking about a move in the future, it's a great time, still a great time to sell your home. Just met with some realtors earlier this week, and they're telling me the house is priced right. It's still selling fast because there's not a lot of inventory, and we have a good selection. If you started the process today, you're probably not going to move until May or June, which is a great time to move. So just something to think about, and I'll put a plug in for that. I am not seeing any questions. Maybe that means everybody fell asleep, or we answered all the questions in the presentation. I'll go with the former rather than the latter. So or however I said that. So
There's
nope,
right there.
All right. Can I remodel the apartment I select? Yeah, great question. So yes, absolutely. So all residents get all residents get to choose paint and carpet at the minimum when they come in. Some apartments, because they've been here, they've been around and haven't been turned over maybe in a long time, over 20 years, with a major remodel. Those are what we're doing in extreme. So we've been doing that at Raybrook for a while. We're just starting the Breton campus at Breton Terrace and Breton Homes. Well, there you get to pick cabinets, countertops, and the like. Light fixtures, plumbing fixtures, you can really make it your own. So quite a good time to pick one of those apartments that are due for that. You can really specialize in it. So, and then the next question, what units have long lead times to get in? I would say the larger the apartment, the longer the lead time. So large apartments, especially any large 2 bedrooms or 3 bedrooms at Breton, large 2 bedrooms at Raybrook, and condo style homes, both at Breton and Raybrook, have our longest lead times. And those will really vary, and your senior living consultant can help you, based on which campus you're thinking about. If you're looking for more of an apartment style, what does that look like? So, and yeah, so those, if it has a long lead time, we encourage you to go on a wait list. It is a $500 fee to go on a wait list. And then you can pick as many things as you want to go on. I mean, it's not unusual for people to have multiple floor plans on their wait list. If we get to you and you say no, you're not penalized. We keep moving to the next person. So it's not like we put a black mark by your name or anything. You don't lose your spot. It doesn't mean you're top of the list, because it means other people ahead of you might have said no. And yes, next question. We do help with the move-in process. Residents get a $1,500 allowance to help with the move. I would say your kids probably like that as much as anybody does. And there are some additional incentives through Greenridge if people choose to use Greenridge Realty. Most people have their own realtor, but if you don't, Greenridge is offering additional funds towards a move and towards a downsizing help. In May, we're going to do a webinar with Greenridge and with one of our senior movers partners that talking about downsizing. So that's going to be coming up in May. So give you a little sneak peek. This next question, how long have people been on wait lists before an opening came? That will really depend on the floor plan. So if you want, like I said, if you want a Dorado at Raybrook, it's going to be 5 or 6 years. If you want a Dahlia here at Breton, it's probably about a year. So a lot of it will depend on the campus and the size. And that's where your senior living consultant can help you, with that. Some people I just worked with somebody this week. They're like, I really think I'm 5 years out. They're in their early 70s. And so I think, I'm thinking about 5 years. So a large 2-bedroom at Raybrook made perfect sense for them. But that's where all of that, detail, your senior living consultant, we've got a great crew that can help. So any other questions? Great questions, by the way. Thank you. And some good things to cover. So Adam, do you have anything you want to add as we wrap things up?
The one thing I'd say, and it came through in the presentation, but I mean, I can't speak enough about how much the mission drives everything, and the quality of people I get to work with, and who every day come to work and serve under the banner of that mission, from as minute as pulling weeds and mowing the grass, to fixing things that are broken, to the vibrant living team and the care staff and the assisted living and skilled nursing areas. I mean, it's a thrill every day to serve with people who find themselves all pulling in the same direction under the banner of that mission. So I mean, that really is something that I think is unique through an organization like us, and that says a lot about who every single one of us is. So that's the only thing I'd emphasize.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with that more. I would say, you know, as you look around, you have a lot of options. I think our advantage of being here in West Michigan, you're not dealing with anybody else outside of West Michigan. Adam's office is right on Raybrook Street, so our leadership is right there.
Very accessible.
Very
Sometimes,
accessible.
yes, yes, very accessible.
And I think that makes a big difference. The other thing I would say two other things before we wrap up, is that as you look at other communities, Adam talked about this, look at really what their promises are in writing, because some say they're life care, and the life care promise, or that care for life, does not follow you through to higher levels of care. So that's critical. So I would make sure as you look around, that is a really key differentiator for Holland Home. The other thing is, Adam went through a lot of detail, all these different price plans that we offer, 4 total, and second person fees, a couple options there. Where we can offer you choice, Holland Home does. And I think that speaks to that. We don't say, here's your price, take it or leave it. We give you a lot of different price options, give you different options to provide life care for the second person. We don't lock you into food. It's all you, is to the extent possible, you are in control, and you decide if you want to go down to the restaurant or not. If you want to have housekeeping or not. Those are things that you are still in control. So I think those are some key differentiators. And I would say, and I know if you've listened to me talk before, you know, we are pretty proud that we have a lot of former employees that choose to live at Holland Home. And I think that speaks volumes, because employees, they kind of know the whole underbelly of everything, and they know all the details. And we have a lot of former employees that make Holland Home their home. And I think that really speaks to the mission and to the culture here at Holland Home. So without any other questions or anything else from Adam, thank you again for tuning in. Again, we'll make a plug for March 22nd, our next At Home with Holland Home, or a profile of our care services with Dr. Dumler, and go out and have a fantastic day. Take care, everybody.
Thanks.